Hey everyone, Dr. Troy here, and this is the second part of your phase 4. So the first part was all about values and mission, and hopefully you got some really good information in there that you can utilize as we create your own phase 5. You'll be working on those things to really clean up different things you're doing in business and different things that you're going to be implementing either when you're full go with staff again or even right now. Many of you can dive in and do this right now. So that is super important. Make sure you have that completed. Now we get to roll into the reflect and project. We are in a second quarter right now, which means that it's time to look back on quarter 1 and then project where you want to be by the end of quarter 2. So it's incredibly important that you do this particular exercise. And we're going to walk through each one of them. You should have your commitment journal. So you just pull out your commitment journal and you're just going to go to quarter 1. At the end of quarter 1, you'll have fruit, feelings, focus, facts. And after that page, you will see the reflect and project core 4. Up in the corner, you put quarter 1, and you simply go through your morning routine. And basically, first question, what worked this past quarter with your core 4 game? For me, I'll just tell you right now, one of the big things was allowing myself as we hit March and all these things started going on with the world. For me, I started to allow myself to actually sleep in. Now, part of the problem is that I was staying up super late at night, but traditionally, if I stayed up super late at night, I would just make myself get up super early. But I paid attention with all the stress that was going on with the world that I just allowed myself to sleep in. It's incredibly powerful for me. And it's just for me and my relationship with my kids, myself, and where my energy went as a result of doing that. So it was super cool. So what worked this past quarter with your core 4? That was it actually. What did not work with your core 4 game? As is the case with everybody, if there was a day where I had to chase something, and typically the chase would end up being my workout. I don't like to chase a workout through the course of the day, but it did happen. What do you know you must improve upon with your core 4 heading into the next quarter? So look, this is the same thing for everybody, and you have to pay attention to this. So it even happens to me. Stop going through the motions. Identify where I'm going through the motions on any given day, and make sure I course correct. So I review every single day. And when I do my review, I'm looking back on it like, wow, man, that meditation was way too short, and I totally just checked the box on that. Boy, the reading that I did wasn't really impactful. I don't even remember what I read. I'm doing that constantly so I can make sure that I understand where I'm at, because it's super easy to fall into that hole of just checking the boxes so you can say that you got it done. So the end of the day review is incredibly important. That's why I have the Reflect and Project Week daily journal, so it can help me to really pay attention to that. And then finally, miscellaneous thoughts. For me, one of the things that I wrote down was to make sure that I'm actually doing affirmations. I started adding them last year, kind of sprinkling them in. And in this first quarter of this year, I really started doing them more. And I want to make sure that I keep doing them. It's just wonderful how affirmations make you feel. So this is super important that you go through this and you reflect and project on what your core 4 was, your morning routine was, and what can you use now. You take that and you go, okay, so how am I going to use this moving forward? And you plug it into your core 4. If you want to write this out, you can write it out. But it's important for you to have this guide and to really find a way to get that power in the morning so that you can have focus and energy, and you're not just going through the motions, but you're the person who's getting up and you're putting yourself in a frame or a context of success before the day ever starts. Think about that. You're putting yourself in a frame or a context of success before the day ever really gets started. That's a great way to start your day. So reflect and project on your core 4. Then we go ahead and flip the page. When we flip the page, we get to go to reflect and project your target report. So this means you're actually looking at your goals, quote unquote goals, your targets of the last quarter, and you're answering some questions. And first question is, what was your challenge targets? We go body, being, balanced business. And if you didn't have anything, if you didn't have any targets, okay, then what you're going to use this for is you're going to write down where you're at. So here's where I'm at right now. So it might not be that you hit a target, but it'll be, hey, here's where I'm at right now. So what was your challenge target? And so then the next question becomes, did you hit the target? So I actually had 3 challenge targets for body. And did I hit the challenge target? Yes. What did you learn from this taking on this challenge? So again, it's just looking back on it, looking at where you're at right now. This is not a time for you to write like maybe or put an extra box that says, well, COVID-19 threw me off track. No, that is not how this works. You either hit the target or you didn't hit the target. That's it. You don't have to like it if you didn't hit the target, folks, but you always can gather a lesson from that. And that's what's so important right now. Last quarter is over. So I've got to extract lessons from this to use as power moving into the next quarter. So what was your challenge target? Did you hit the target? Yes or no? And finally, what did you learn from taking on this challenge? Okay. And that's the same question for being It's the same question for balance. It's the same question for business. And that means that you will walk away with at least 4 lessons that you've learned from this. And now you use those lessons moving forward. Well, what's forward? Well, forward is very simple. Quarter 2. So you flip in your commitment journal to quarter 2 and you get started. Now, y'all know how this goes. Fruit. What is it? What is the target or the goal that you have for the end of 90 days in body, in being, in balance, in business? Sit there and write this stuff out. What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that by the end of the quarter you want to be able to say that you have done in your health? What is it that you want to be able to say that you have completed in being? What is it that you want to say that you have done in terms of balance? And what is it that you want to say that you have accomplished in terms of your business? Become very clear on these things right now. Now look, for body, I nailed my target on body. So guess what? When it comes to body, I'm actually looking for maintenance. I know it sounds crazy, right? But I'm looking to maintain because I love the changes that I made. And I'd like to be able to, basically I use a program called X3. I'd like to go up to another band. It's called the Orange Band. So I'd like to go up to the Orange Band without ego. Because if I do it right now, I might do it with ego, which means I might get hurt. So there are certain things that I want to do when I put myself in this maintenance phase. Is I want to continue to develop the strength that I've developed as a result of this, but there is still a specific weight goal. So I'm not training for an event. I'm loving the training that I'm doing here. I'm at my target weight. And so now I want to find a way to add strength and muscle in the same time. So I'm just sharing with you, okay? So that's actually a maintenance one for me. Being, I'm diving into law of attraction type stuff. It's been a while since I've done this. I think it was last year, second or third quarter, I read The Secret again. I'm diving into some mastery, mindset mastery, manifestation type stuff. It's a place where I'm at right now. I just really want to dive into it. And I think it's great timing too with everything that's going on, just to keep my focus in that place, continuing to stack as well, and obviously continuing to meditate. But those aren't necessarily goals. Those are part of the core 4 anyway. And so because they're part of the core 4, I go, okay, well, I know for sure I want this mindset or manifestation mastery. So I'm just going to be learning from different sources. And then also affirmations, because I want to make sure that becomes a consistent habit throughout the course of this next 90 days as well. Then you look at balance and, look, if you look at right now and you go, I want to have a date night with my spouse every week, but I can't do that right. Well, you can. I've made this suggestion millions and millions of times that you can light a candle and have dinner with your spouse when the kids go to bed. There's all kinds of things that you do. This is where in-house date night becomes super, super impactful, but also making sure that there's things that we're doing with our children and doing them individually as well. And so that's where with balance, you just look at it and you go like, look, here's where I want to be at the end of the quarter. I'm putting the energy out there for the end of the quarter that, we're at the lake and we're hanging out and we're dropping anchor and we're going to the beach bars that we like to go to and having, what we call boatniks. Like I see all that stuff happening. And so I'm not going to write these based on that stuff not happening. I'm going to write these based on the world starts to get back to quote unquote pseudo normal by that time period. So don't write these with a handicap in your mind. Write these with what you want to see happen over the course of the next 90 days. This is going to be incredibly important for your vision. It's going to be incredibly important for your energy and your focus and your urgency to start doing the work now so that you hit those goals later. And then finally with business. And I will tell you, as y'all know by now, like I got booted, man. I got booted from Facebook and I had to start over. And so I specifically have targets when it comes to social media. I've never really had this before. I've had targets for social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also my email list. Like that's where I am putting a big ton of energy in building lists over the course of the next 3 months. And so that is something that is a business target for me, which again, I haven't really had that as a target before. So it's kind of different. Also kind of exciting as well. So I'm super excited about that. And so that just kind of gives you an overview. There's other things that I'm doing with all these, but I mean, that just kind of gives you an overview. And it's like, okay, what do you want for your fruit? Then you flip the page and you go, okay, well, what are your feelings? Y'all know this. What are your feelings? So I got to be able to reference, okay, well, in body, my feelings are this. And being, I'm excited. I'm stoked. Yeah, that's still a word, right? I'm stoked. I'm kind of peaceful with it because I'm super happy with where I'm at. With being, I'm really excited because it's been a while since I've dove into this level when it comes to like The Secret and law of attraction and stuff like that. So I'm super, super excited about that. I'm anxious about it. I'm also a little bit nervous. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just sharing things with you. Balance, what is it with balance? Well, you know what? I'm excited about it. I'm excited because ever since this all started, for Leah and I, it's been like, you got 3 kids, you got to figure out homeschooling. You got to figure out, how you're going to make sure you get your own separate time. You got Walker, who is like on mama all the time. And Leah needs her space. Daddy needs his space. We need to be able to come together. We need to be able to be with the family and have our space with the family. like all kinds of crazy stuff, but it's been super, super fun. So, but how can I make sure that I'm maintaining a level of connection with her throughout the course of a week? And so I'm really diving in on those. And what can I do with the boys as well? So you have to look at this and how do I feel about that? Well, I feel excited, but I feel nervous because I know that by the time you get to Thursday night, we're both exhausted. We're letting the boys stay up later. So if I'm going to get back out of bed at 11 o'clock at night, then she still has to be awake, like, right? So the stories start to pile in my head. I'm like, stop the stories. How do I feel? Excited. Why do I feel excited? Because I love this connection with my wife. Nervous. Why do I feel nervous? Because I know we've been letting the boys stay up later and it could be difficult to make this happen. Okay, what else? Happy, peaceful, love. Like, what are the feelings that you're having? And then with business, the same thing. What are the feelings that you have associated with what it is that you're looking at? Finally, focus. Not finally. Second to last, focus. What's the focus that you have to have in order to make this happen, right? So this is, what are the habits or actions that need to take place? Habits or actions that need to take place. So for me, in Body, it's X3. So X3 is a 12-week program. I'm rebooting my 12-week program. Just started today with a reboot of my 12-week program with that particular program of X3. And then intermittent fasting has gone fantastic the last 30 days. So I have to fluctuate my intermittent fasting. That's how I've gotten the best results. And so I'm either going 18 and 6, or I'm going 16 and 8, and I'm shifting. I've gone as high as 20 and 4. So I'm really playing with my intermittent fasting. It's been super fun, and I've seen great results in doing it. So that's the focus I'm gonna have to have, is to make sure that I monitor that and I stay on top of it to see where I'm getting the best results. In Being, what's gonna be? Well, it's gonna be study every single day, 30 minutes of study, 15 minutes of study, whatever it is, every single day. That's the number one habit that has to take place here. And then implementation. So I don't wanna just learn shit. I want to learn and implement. So then I have to have learning and then implementation, and making sure that I'm focusing on that every single day. And then with balance, well, I'm gonna have to schedule this. I'm gonna have to schedule this to make sure Thursday night, the boys are in bed at a specific time. And if they're in bed at a specific time, it's easier for me and Leah to be able to stay up and then hang out on that particular night, so we can have our in-house date night, whatever night it is that we choose it. And with business, what's gonna have to happen? There's major discipline that goes on. So the discipline of getting on and off Facebook and allowing myself to do it X number of times a day, and monitoring my phone, which will tell me how often I've been on Facebook, and make sure I have checklists. I mean, I can show you this. I have social media checklists that are created for day, week, and month, and just following those checklists. So the habit is gonna have to be following the checklist. Content creation, headlines, those sorts of things all have to take place in order for me to dive into this list building that I have in business. So those are the things, some examples of what have to happen. And then finally you get to facts, and who do you have to leverage, and what do you need to learn? Leverage and learn, leverage and learn. So you just go through Body, Being, Balance, Business. Body, I don't need to leverage anybody right now. I'm in a very, very strong place. I don't need to learn anything right now when it comes to Body. I'm really happy with where this is at. So I'm gonna stay consistent with it, but I will continue to, I think his name is Don Klum. I love following him when he talks about intermittent fasting. So I guess from a learning or leveraging standpoint, I'll go to Don because I love the information that he shares. In Being, I'm gonna have to leverage the internet. I'm gonna have to leverage maybe you or people within our group. I'm gonna have to be able to leverage those people to be able to point me in directions of maybe things that you found super, super interesting that I might not have heard of before. So it allows me to learn from a different source, not just go watch The Secret or Think and Grow Rich. Maybe you have a hidden gem out there that you could share with me, which would be super cool. And then balance. So what am I gonna have to learn? I'm gonna have to learn new ways of doing things around the house so that I can surprise Leah, since we can't go out to dinner, actually getting up and getting dressed up, which we've talked about, and things like that, right? And then with the kids, it's just, I'm gonna have to actually leverage her, and she's gonna have to leverage me, and we're gonna have to leverage grandparents so that we can actually find ways to have this individual time with the kids. And then finally in business, I'm gonna have to leverage, I'm part of multiple programs that I've invested in over the course of, especially the last year, but many years. I'm gonna have to leverage those programs and continue learning about how to build these lists and journal it along the way. Why? Because I want to journal along the way so I can share these things with you. So then down the road, when you're really wanting to list build, I can just say, look, here's what I did. Here's how I built to this level, this level, this level, which is why I'm super excited about this, because it benefits everybody. So that becomes facts of what it is that you have to learn and leverage. So there you go. This is it. It's time for you to create your next 90. It's time to create your next 90. This is not meant to be stressful. This is meant for you to have goals and targets, because if you have goals and targets to focus on, you're not going to be focusing on negativity. You're not going to be focusing on other things that will just suck your energy dry. You're focusing on the creation of your life and the creation of your business. And if that doesn't get you fired up and jacked, we probably need to talk about it, but it should get you fired up and jacked. And every single day, then you should be working on something in these 4 categories that moves you closer to what it is that you want, and it moves you away from what it is that you don't want. So get to work on this, please. When you actually get your fruit, Send me your fruit. I want to know what the fruit is. What is it that you want in the next 90? And I want to know the focus that you have, the things, the habits that you're going to have to take on in order to get there. Please do not send this to me on my phone. Simply take a screenshot, send it to me in email, or if you write it out or something like that, or type it on your computer, send that to me as well. But it's time to get to work on this, guys. I know there's a lot going on. You might want to take one section a day. I'm going to take body each day, but I can tell you right now, when it comes to the Reflect and Project, it takes you less than 10 minutes to go through and do this. Don't speed through, but it takes you less than 10 minutes to go through and do this. And for many of us, you probably already kind of have an idea. I mean, when you know where you want to be at the end of the year, you already have kind of an idea of where you want to be in the next 90 days. This should not be stressful. This should be fun. It should also give you a boost of energy because you're going to start focusing on your life and creation. It's going to start to make you feel a little bit normal again. So that's all I've got for you today. I love you. I honor you. I appreciate you. Dr. Troy, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.